Our world is so interconnected, both figuratively and literally. I sit down with my friend Iggy, a true embodiment of this global fusion. Iggy is half Thai and half American, with friends spanning the globe and interests that cross all cultural boundaries. Young Iggy is navigating through life with the help of philosophy, music, and friendship. Our conversation opened my eyes to the deeper layers of Thai culture, revealing how the expectations of parents often clash with the rapidly changing world around us. Parents expect certain things, but today's world is set up in such a way that those expectations can be obsolete. From religious and traditional accepted norms to music and food, society is going through a rapid globalization. So, you can find similar versions of things you would find in specific parts of the world like anywhere else. Shopping malls and nightclubs, as an example. Iggy paints a vivid picture of Chiang Mai's small but vibrant nightlife scene, with its handful of intimate nightclubs. His insights transported me back to my own nights out and underscored the universal truth. No matter where we are in the world, we are united by music, friendship, and good vibes. Rolling.
Okay.
Let's just relax for a second. Just bask in the glory of, where are we right now?
Deaf shop?
Deaf shop.
Yep.
Is it for deaf people who cannot hear?
Nah.
No?
It's just the name of the bar.
It's the name of the bar. How old is this bar? It looks pretty rustic.
I think it's like it's the old building.
Uh-huh.
I think it's around like 30 years old or something like that.
And it's been a bar for the past 30 years?
No,
Oh.
no, I don't think so. I think it's around 3 or 5 years or something. Yeah.
And you've been visiting here ever since it opened?
Not really. Normally, like, I start coming here like last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, just a year.
Okay. But I'm sure, this place has seen a lot of different
Yeah.
memories that kind of, I don't know, how do you feel about that? Like when you go into a place and there's history in this place,
Mm-hmm.
I sort of feel it to a certain level. Do you also feel like the history in these places?
It's more like a vibe it's giving
Mm-hmm.
and like the energy,
Yeah.
how they're decorating, and like see the wall.
Mm.
It's all the history
Yeah. Would you say Deaf Shop is your favorite bar in Chiang Mai?
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Is it just the place itself, or do you think the people make the difference?
It's hard to be the people, like the environment and everything mixed together, but the most is people.
Right.
Yeah.
I think when people say, "Oh, don't you miss Turkey?" So I'm from Turkey,
Mhm.
and my friends say, "Oh, like don't you miss Turkey?" No, no, no. It's like I always think I don't miss the country. I miss the people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So from that logic, I think places like this, it's actually the people that make it
Yeah.
the place. So, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Should I say my real name? Oh, no.
However you want to be known.
Just call me Iggy.
Iggy.
I'm Iggy
Beautiful.
from Thailand.
Iggy from Thailand is joining us today.
Hello.
How are you feeling today?
Lazy.
It's Monday.
Yeah.
It's normal to feel lazy on Monday. So tell me a little bit about what you wanted to be when you wanted to grow up. Oh, sorry, when you're a child,
Mhm.
they say, what do you want to be when you want to grow up? Did you have an answer for that when you were a kid?
Not really. It is changing time by time, but I don't really know what I want to become. But yeah.
So you didn't have like this exactly. Oh, I want to be a fireman or like a police or like a doctor or something like
Nah,
that.
I think like for my younger self, it's like it's not really the time for me to decide yet, and there's still a lot for me to like exploring. Mm, and also, I don't really want to pick one. I just want to do a lot of things.
Can you name a few?
Well, I want to be like a singer. Already did. Trying to be a DJ right now.
Oh, okay.
Also, going to learn how to play cello.
Oh.
I want to put it like in my DJ set. Gonna do like
So
techno
live
and
sets.
yeah,
Wow.
techno and trance, and gonna do like maybe techno house as well.
Some tech house with a little dash of
Yeah.
No, you said violin? No, you said cello.
Cello,
Whoa,
yeah.
okay. That's gonna be really interesting.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think I've seen this before.
Yeah, and I never heard of anybody like doing the cello on the set before.
Yeah, that's very original,
Yeah.
Iggy. Did you come up with it recently, or were you
Yeah,
thinking
yeah, like
about it?
at the end of last year, 2023.
Nice, man. Because I love when I go to so there's this DJ, maybe you know Satori.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does like this clarinet or something. It's like like it's interesting, you know.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
adds
yeah.
a different dimension.
And
to
it's
the-
unique as well.
Yeah. So instruments are always appreciated
Yeah,
in
yeah.
live sets. We love it a lot. So I loved your answer when you said, you know, like I don't want to be this one thing. I want to explore and see what options are out
Yeah.
there, what I like, you know, because you won't know before you try.
Yeah, yeah.
But can you tell me a little bit about your parents? Did they give you sort of a direction? Oh, maybe you should try this. Maybe you should try that.
Not really. Well, maybe my father.
Okay.
Well, he's quite inspiring because he's gay.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah. And also, like, I don't really grow up with him, but we were like reconnecting when I was like 19. Well, it's always the Facebook.
Sure.
Yeah. And like,
So wait, I need you to tell me about that. So your mom and dad meet in Thailand,
yep.
and you're conceived, and your mom is pregnant, and then your dad has some business to do somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then he leaves, and then
Kind of. It's. I don't really ask them about this.
okay.
But yeah, there was like some really complicated situation, and I don't really want to dig into it if like no, it doesn't make anything good or worse. No.
But how did you maintain connection?
So he added me on my Facebook like when I was like 19. And we were like talking, and like he had like my picture when I was a like baby and stuff.
Okay. So that's kind of how you kind of maintain this connection with him. That's cool. So in what way do you think there was a positive influence?
Yeah, like what I said is my dad gay, and also when he was like young, he came out with like when like 17, and he also like a chef. He's becoming a chef, and he dealing coke through the kitchen in the 80s.
What crazy time to be alive.
Yeah.
Where in the U.S. was he? Do you remember?
He's from Vermont.
Vermont,
And then I think he moved somewhere, and before he moved to Thailand, he had like he's running a gay bar in Florida, and then he sold that place and moved to Thailand to grow weed.
Wow, what a colorful, adventurous sort of life. No, that's great, man. So when he moved to Thailand, obviously, you know, like your parents met,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he lived here for some time.
Quite some time because I was born on like 2001. I think he's moved here around 1995 or 96, something like that.
Can you remember? I mean, obviously you cannot, but like, do you know anything about the time when he moved in Thailand versus now? Do you think a lot changed since then?
I would say a lot, but I don't know. Like I couldn't really see it, but there's always changing, like in our life anyway.
Yeah.
Because when he moved to Thailand, he's opened like a pizza restaurant for like 5 years, and then he closed it, and then he's just like doing weed in some
That's the perfect combination.
Yeah.
Though, like pizza and weed. Nice.
At first he doing like in a townhouse, and like on the second floor is like full of weed.
Nice.
Like I think it was like around 15 years ago. He doing that for like 8 years until like he moved up to the mountain.
To
And
the
then
north?
yeah, it's like 1 hour away from like Chiang Mai city.
Okay.
And he's been doing like outdoor growing upstairs since until he like passed away on 2022.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's more like a canon event for me like to grow up not really in like a comfort zone with him like anymore. Like I have to grow up and be my own person, not just with him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you already have the good influence, I think, you know, in terms of colorful, adventurous, sort of like varied experience, you know. And the reason why I ask it is because, you know, we like no matter how much we say, oh, like I have some friends who really don't talk to their parents anymore, but I think we cannot deny that we're a product of our parents.
Yeah.
You know? At the end of the day, like whatever you've been exposed to between 0 and 5 is going to be shaping your personality. So in that sense, I think you have a very good base, you know, and what you want to do with it is very important after that point. So tell me a little bit about your mom. What kind of person is she?
She's quite strict and she is kindergarten teacher. So she's pretty good with like children and stuff, and I hate children because I have ADHD. I'm not really good with children at all.
Yeah, it's a I don't know. Patience is like you cannot have enough patience with kids.
Yeah. Unless you are the parent.
Yeah. In that case, you kind of have to be patient.
Yeah.
Nice. So was it difficult kind of living with that ego?
Not really. Like she do her own thing, I do my own thing, but I would say like I'm quite close to her because I grew up with her, but I don't really understand her and like her point of view and my point of view is like she's more like a Thai point of view, and I was like, I don't care, I just want to know things. Something like that.
You're curious.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she's a little bit more like sticking to what she knows.
Yeah. And more like what she believes in, and she's like just make it like to the top.
Yeah. Do you think that is good for growth?
If you use it as a base, it's not really good, but you have to be like open-minded and also like believe in one thing. it doesn't go along.
Yeah, it's kind of contradicting, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
How would one use belief in a positive? This is not like a question that you have to answer. What I love about the podcast is it's you have my undivided attention right now. Like I'm just focused on whatever you're saying, and I believe that you, like, it's reciprocated, like it's both sides. And when I ask questions, it's less about, oh, like, do you know this? It's more about, let's figure it out together, So given, your experience, I have some experience as well in life. How do you think one person can use, like a strict belief into something that, they can build, let's say, like grow?
I would give my perspective as the way, because I was a Buddhist.
Oh, okay.
Also, I was Christian, and I doing like a Wicca stuff, and also
What is that?
It's a root word for like witch, and like it's more like a folk knowledge, like
Okay.
herbal stuff,
Herbs.
depend on like
So
on
is
the
it like
God
the Kabbalah stuff?
It's it's more complicated than that, but I would call myself like a green witch.
A green witch, not a white, not a black, but a green witch.
But right now it's like I'm a multi-believer. I'm just picking like what is good for me, and like I just make like a lot of things like Buddhist, not Christian.
Yeah.
Norse, yeah, because I have like tattoo right here.
Oh, that's
It's a compass for like Viking when they were like going out to the sea to like conquer something or like hunting.
yeah.
They always coming back to their home.
Valhalla.
Yeah.
Nice. So, can you tell me about the sequence of beliefs that you kind of adopted for yourself? Did you start off as, first of all, I mean, you probably was raised Buddhist,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
By your mom. What age did you say, okay, maybe I want to see what's out there?
It's like when I'm starting like middle school, and like the Buddhism in Thai is I want to say that it's not like original, but because Thai people, before they believe in Buddhism, they believe in like ghosts and ancestor stuff, because we also like live near China. It's only like one country like in the middle.
Yeah.
And they are moving here,
Sure.
and like my mom's side of the family, like we have like a little bit of like Chinese ancestor.
But that's very normal for Chiang Mai,
Yeah.
Chiang Lai, like these
Like
these,
northern
settlements, yeah.
Also like the central part of Thailand as well, because they came with the walking, also like the boat
Sure.
and stuff. Yeah. So this area is like covered in Chinese ancestor,
Nice.
and yeah, they believe in ghosts and ancestor. Like, so sometimes like they believe in thing that Buddha doesn't teach them to like
Oh, they're sort of like,
it doesn't follow.
okay.
Yeah. And I was like, maybe this is not like not what I'm really interested, because they teach like the original
Yeah.
Buddhism in like school, but what I saw in real life is like
Very
okay.
much different.
Yeah.
And was it a moment where you were like, at school, or you know, like someone was giving you some sort of lecture and then you were like, wait a minute, like, are you sure?
Yeah,
or was
yeah,
it more
sometime.
like over time you said, okay, you know, like this is
I think it's like both.
mm-hmm.
What do I want to say?
No, sorry to cut you off. So you were talking about how the Buddhism is taught in schools versus how people kind of practice it in real
Yeah,
life,
yeah.
and then you were like, I'm not so sure about this, and then I guess you wanted to like take it back to where you sort of started looking somewhere
Mhm.
else.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I become like a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have to say that Christian in Thai and in the US they are really different.
Oh, how so?
It's not like different, but the way they act is not like they're not crazy about what they believe. Like they don't really like put what they believe in other people. And also like when you're like a Christian, they having like a program for you to like being like a exchange student for like the Christian school in somewhere
the
in
Peace Corps
Europe.
people.
Yeah,
Sure.
and also like the work.
I'm gonna tell you about a cool guy named Jesus. Yeah, those guys are everywhere.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and also like in Thai, there's going to be like a yellow sign, and they wrote it like Jesus will come back in Thai on like
Thai
everywhere.
Jesus. Stay tuned, folks. We're gonna have the Thai Jesus episode soon. So that shift to Christianity, was it satisfying for you?
Not really, because well they taught us about love, but like it's not really giving me anything, like the direction, the heaven, the hell. And I've been like reading the Bible, and it's not really what I expecting. It's quite violent, and also there's too many versions of the Bible.
Yes. And there's crazy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The crazy part, and like if you like compare it to like the old one and the new one, the changing is like it's not going to the same direction as the old one. So like, okay, I quit, and then I start doing like a Wicca and study about like the ancient god, like Greek gods, because some of the Wicca they believe in some of them believe in Greek gods, some believe in like northern gods, some believe in like the folklore for like local gods, something like that, or like nature.
Did you go back to like the ancient Egypt?
Oh, the ancient Egypt.
Or like Sumerian?
Not really, because those are like it's like a missing culture.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the pyramids, you can see how much we're missing.
Yeah. And also I study like philosophy, so I study a lot about like philosophy, history, and religion. Like my favorite philosopher, she's her name is Hypatia, the first female philosopher of the history. She was killed by a Christian because she's practicing science.
Of course.
Yeah, and they blame her as the witch.
Sure.
Yeah, she got, I think.
Did they kill her?
Yeah, she was like
Typical.
I forgot how she got killed, but there's a movie called like Aguda or something like that. Yeah.
So if you want to find out how she lived and,
Yeah.
passed on, maybe just check out this movie. What was its name?
If I'm not wrong, it's like Agoda, but if you type like a hypatia and like put the movie on the back, I'm sure you're gonna find it.
Yeah, for sure. So interesting. Would you say that your search for religion was more about your search for meaning in life?
It's more about searching for where I really belong. And like, I'm not really that desperate anymore.
Sure. You don't need a system.
Yeah.
You made your own system.
Yeah.
And when was that switch into, okay, I've done a lot of research on all these different, let's call it cultures at this point, these belief systems. And you know what? I don't really subscribe to any of them. So like, I'm just gonna, make my own path.
I think it started when I like met my dad for like almost a year and like
You actually met him like in person?
yeah like we reconnected like around when I was like 19, and like at first I like we've been talking like online for a while, and like at first I don't really like know who he is, and like it's been a month and he's like still on my like waiting list to like accept. So I was like, who's this guy? Okay, I'll accept them.
Right.
Yeah, because like he had like a couple mutual friends, and
Interesting. So how was that moment when you met him? I'm sure it's like mixed.
It's the first time I met him is the first time I tried weed. So yeah.
Nice.
So I was like smoking cigarette before that, and at first I tried it. I thought it was like cigarette. So I was like keep hitting and until I finished like 1.5 joint.
Oh my god. Then you started talking to clouds.
Could say that, and I puke.
Oh god. But you were in good hands.
Yeah. He's the
problem.
pro, and now I'm the pro.
He passed the torch.
Yeah.
It was your decision. Now it's free for all. Well, that's wonderful. So did you get to connect on a different level that you did compared to chatting online?
Yeah. After I met him like for the first time, we been like meet up like once a month, and then after like 8th month is like once a year. And like when I was like newly met him, I went to like Pi, and I met girl.
Yeah.
Now she's become like my party mommy.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so she's also showing me around like the different size and different parts of what's going on in the world, like the party part.
Sure.
Because I don't really go out before that, and I would just want to like travel around and see what's going on.
So then everything kind of started happening recently for you.
Yeah. It's not that long ago. It's like a couple years, something like that.
So when you say Pi, a lot of people have no idea what you're talking about. So maybe try to describe Pi to me.
Pi is like a little city up in the mountain.
Quite small.
Yeah, up north to like the northern Thailand. And it's quite cultural and hippie because like there's a group of people that from Chinese. They have like Chinese village, and
Okay.
also some of them like from south of Thailand, and they are like Muslim, and also like the original people, like the local that live there, is like I don't really know the word to call them like in English, but like
Are they from the tribes?
Yeah, the tribe. Yeah. And also
Karen? No.
like I forgot the name.
Okay, no worries.
And yeah, and like 20 years ago, they don't really have like a road to go there, and like you have to like sometime hike, and it's really hard to go there.
I bet.
Yeah.
I have
But-
never been there yet, so.
But right now, there's like the part that they are like hippie, and also the part that they're like party hard, like it's more like Kopangan vibe kind of thing,
Kopangan,
but
yeah.
it's in the middle of the mountain instead of the islands.
Yes. So there's quite different atmospheres
Yeah,
in this small region.
but also like the vibe it giving is quite similar.
Oh, everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
like even though there's like different people, the vibe, even though the atmospheres are kind of a little different, the vibe that you get is pretty much the same. Yeah, I've observed, I haven't been there, but I've observed that there's a lot of Thai pants.
Yeah.
A lot of acid and mushrooms.
Love them so much.
Yeah. Cool. So it's kind of this sort of, dance like no one's watching vibe
Yeah.
going on. Yeah.
It's more like a break from like the reality kind of thing. It's like it's really peaceful and also like chaotic at the same time kind of thing.
And the landscape I hear is just freaking marvelous. Like
Yeah,
everywhere
yeah.
you go, there's a waterfall. There's a little path there. It's just very enjoyable to be in these places for sure. Why do you say chaotic?
Because they're having like a party every night till like sometime it's like 3 a.m. Also like 4 a.m.
Oof.
Even like after that, I just going to like someone place like my friend and we doing party more.
Yeah. So it never sleeps.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you go there regularly?
Usually I go there like once a month when my dad's still alive, but right now it's depend on what's going on up there, and like I want to see the other part of the world that's not just there. So
Yes.
I kind of like saving money.
Do you have a list?
Not really, but I want to make a list from like what people were saying to me, like where they're from, and I would say like the number one place is Berlin.
Of course. You would fit right in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there would be any issues when you go to Berlin. I think who was I talking to about this? I forget. But we were saying Chiang Mai and Berlin have a lot of parallel similarities because I would say, not just me, a lot of other people, Chiang Mai is kind of the art capital of Thailand for sure.
Yeah.
But maybe even the cultural capital of Southeast Asia almost. So Berlin would probably be the same thing just for Europe, So in that way, I think that would be nice. Just the weather a little bit. You can live
Do
with
not
it.
go on the winter.
Yeah.
A
Smart.
lot of people say it like, do not go to Berlin for the winter.
Yeah, unless you like cold. Which I don't know. You're from Thailand.
I like the cold, but I cannot bear the cold.
It gets a little annoying
Yeah.
sometimes. Nice. Is that the only place you want to go to, or?
Also like I want to do like festival around the world, and also like South America. It's quite dangerous for me because I'm I'm quite impulsive sometimes, and
in what way?
so many ways. And I don't really careful because this city is super safe, and like I just left my phone at the cafe, like on the table, and I just walk into like the toilet and come back and it's still here. But that is more like I have to be careful and
it's not very
watch.
forgiving there.
Yeah, what's going on around me? Like,
start with Berlin.
Yeah.
And then you can work
like
your way down there.
Amsterdam.
Yes, I've been. That's a very, very fascinating spot. A lot of culture, a lot of art, just like here. A lot of freedom. Whatever you consider freedom, you know.
Yeah.
For young people, I would say it's freedom. You know, depends on where you look at it from, but there's a lot of expression. I think that's, for me at least, freedom is expression, and you can express yourself in so many different ways. And places like Berlin, Chiang Mai, Amsterdam, very welcoming. No one's really, you know, there's really funny meme. It's like, society, be yourself. Society, no, not like that. So I feel like most of the world, at least for Turkey, I can speak on behalf of that. It's this case, you know. It's like, you can be yourself, but be yourself this way. But in this context, like, you know, Chiang Mai, all these other places we talk about, I think you can be yourself the way you want. Lucky.
Could say that.
Well, at least in this. Front,
Yeah.
Cool. So let's talk more about future. Do you like talking about the future, or do you like talking about the past, or do you like talking about now?
It's depend, but I want to talk about anything.
Yeah, nice. So I'm curious about your journey in music. First of all, that's what I'm really curious about. So you mentioned that you like singing.
Yeah.
I imagine you're good at singing too.
Not really that good, but I'm getting there.
Okay, cool. Did you have, you know, some point in time where you started singing, or as a child were you always singing, or did you recently pick it up?
I would say it's like when I was in like a middle school, I just like to sing in general, and singing is also like the way that I'm like express and releasing my positive and also negative energy through my vocal, and like to release the emotional that I suppress it inside of me. And I, as an ADHD kid, I don't really know how to communicate.
Well, you're doing an amazing job right now.
I guess. And yeah, so I started singing for a little bit, and when I like in high school, I decided to like study vocal because I having like my favorite singer. Her name is Aurora.
Okay.
From Norway.
Okay.
And she used like her music, like it's not just the lyrics but the melody, the sound, the note, and the lyrics is like healing people. And I was like, I want to do something like that, like to the world, to whatever, or maybe just to myself. Yeah, and it's really inspiring me to like do the music thing. And I've been studying like vocal for like 5 or 6 years now.
Wow. Did you get private lessons or more like school? Did you go to conservatory?
More like a private lesson, and I doing like a few months a year. And other than that, I just like listen to like the music and like just copying the trick that the singer used in the vocal. Like in jazz, I just like trying to do like the cursive singing, like the accent and stuff, and like trying to copy the falsetto technique and also the mixed voice. I just like found like my mixed voice not too long ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah, I just been like doing my stuff,
experimenting with different things. Nice. And was it always singing, or did you ever pick up an instrument?
I try a few, but because I have ADHD, so I was like get bored so easily.
Fuck school, fuck all this bullshit.
Yeah.
Goddamn. Yeah, I'm also very much like you. I cannot stay with anything for too long time.
Yeah.
But that's interesting that you pursued singing for such a long time. Meanwhile, not,
it's more like on and off, but my voice right here. I just use it whenever I want.
It's accessible, right? It's easy. And you also mentioned DJing. So first, I want you to talk about the vibe of Def Shop and what do we do here?
Oh, Def Shop is like a record bar. So the owner and her boyfriend, she was like doing like the owner, she's running the bar, and the boyfriend is like the DJ. And
do you think we can talk to the owner as well at some point? Would she be interested? Well, another time. But like,
yeah. I would say yeah.
Okay.
She would be interested.
If you could put a good word for me,
Yeah.
Because this means a lot to me. Because it's mostly. I'll just interject for 1 second. For me, I think Chiang Mai is one of these places where when people come here, they must understand what they're experiencing. I think a lot of people just come here and there's it's a nice place, it's great, that's why I'm music. It's like, yes, but there's so much more to that. And when I first came here, I was like, well, I just felt home immediately because I've been in south of Thailand for the past 5-6 months and it's like so hot everywhere. And then I arrive here late at night, wake up in the morning, it's beautifully breezy, my t-shirt and the motorbike, and the second day I just felt like, okay, I want to start my podcast here. And I actually started it here. I mean, I was collecting before, but I started posting. So now I'm like full throttle in it. And I think people need to understand the energy of this place. And this is kind of the reason why like we're doing this conversation. So with that in mind, keep that in mind and listen to Iggy now talking about the record shop. So the boyfriend and the owner and the boyfriend run this place, and I see a lot of records over there.
So yeah, the boyfriend is like he doing a DJing with a record, and like when you come into the bar, they're having like a record, like you can pick the one that you like, and give it to the DJ, and he's gonna play, like put it on a list.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So everyone gets the like a request.
Yeah.
And what kind of people visit here?
Mostly it's the expat that live in Chiang Mai for quite a long time, and hippie. And yeah, mostly it's the expert, and also some Thai people. Sometimes we're having like a new face, but
what do you
mostly
mean?
It's like the tourists and stuff.
Oh, sure, of course.
Yeah, but mostly it's like same people. It's more like a community place.
The regulars.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So, did the DJing influence start here? Or did you always have like good taste?
Not really. I was talking about I met some girl in like on the way in Pai. Yeah, my party mama.
Nice.
And like we were like talking after like I got back to Pai, and she invited me to like a festival in Bangkok.
Oh. Was it Wonderfruit?
No.
No. This is recent. Okay.
It's like when I was start. I went to like the thing called like Mustache Takeover.
Okay.
It's the name of one of the bar, and like sometimes they do like takeover to like
Cool.
the different places, like throughout the Bangkok area.
Okay.
And yeah, and I met a lot of like new friends.
Interesting people.
Yeah. And a lot of them are like doing DJ as well. And the community there is like showing me like it's welcoming, it's loving, it's no judging at all.
Yes.
And yeah, people just want to like enjoy their life and have fun, and like it's a positive place to be at. So I was like, okay, I want to do like DJing, and the cello is like pop up, and I was like, I just want to be unique.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah, nice. That's a very unheard of twist, you know. I'm familiar to the idea of live sets, but with the cello I think it would make a difference, you know, like in a positive way. I do want you to touch on this sort of, okay, it's cool that we're, you know, free and we do what we want and like this positive environment, but also I think people get carried away with the drugs, you know. So it's kind of this double-edged sword, you know. I'm all for this kind of communities, but oftentimes I find that there's a lot of reliance on drugs to have a fun time, and I'm just curious about your experience.
I would say I love drugs so much, but if you're like with your friends, like a group of friends, and they into like the same thing, and also the music is good, you don't really need a drugs.
Yes.
But the drug, it's just like a stairway for you like to step into the music. Like it's easier to like feeling the music.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But do you think you don't feel the music if you don't have drugs?
No, I would not say that. It's more like it's going up to a certain level, but like the drugs put you more up.
So they make you understand it in a different way.
Yeah, because
that you wouldn't be able to have otherwise.
Could say that.
Yeah.
But also it's going to mess up your brain chemical or something. So be careful about it.
Balance.
Yeah.
With everything, right? Yeah, I mention it because, were you gonna say something?
No.
Oh, I mentioned that because I've also had the same sort of discovery period. Obviously our experiences are very different than each other, but I do find that there's some overlap, you know, in terms of wherever you go in the world. If there's a strong music community, well, there's going to be some weed around. Well, there's going to be some shrooms around. There's going to be some, you know, speed, MD, whatever, you know. And I feel like when the reason why you get together is the music and the community and the love. But then sometimes it kind of just shifts to the substances, and that's when I kind of feel like, well, wait, hold on, like we were here for a different reason. Now we're just in the corner, just like trying to get our fix, you know. So yeah, that's why I mentioned it. Is it kind of the similar in your experience, or?
Not really, because I am 22 years old right now, and the people I'm hanging out with mostly like they're in like a late 20 and early 30, so they're quite taking care of themselves like quite well. And I got that from them, and like we always take care of each other when we're like going to festival and do something. Yeah, so that's how I survive, because like I think I met the right group of people.
Positive influences. Your support group is super important.
And like when I'm doing the deed, I always like I study like the substance itself as well, like because like I I want to know what's going on when I took it and the side effect, and like in the short term and long term as well. Yeah. So I only picked like a few that I like.
So super informed.
Yeah. But when people ask me why am I doing drugs, I would say because I'm philosophy student. That's why I do drugs.
That enough said. No more explanation required. No, I'm totally with you on that. I use some substances to, like you mentioned, most places are accessible, obviously, and with enough practice, I think you can access anywhere like this, you know. But that requires practice. So a good analogy that I've made before, I've read before, and I continue to tell it to people is, I feel like drugs are kind of this like trampoline. So you can go up and like see things in a different light that otherwise would be very difficult. But with the trampoline, you always have to come back down. So my philosophy has kind of switched over to, can I find a way to build a ladder, almost, as it were. That takes a lot of time and effort and energy and concentration and all of that. But at the end of the day, I think it's a little bit more worth it, because it's kind of like, I can give you $1,000 or I can teach you how to make $1,000, right?
Yeah.
So you can do that continuously by yourself. And in that way, I think building the ladder in the long term obviously is a better kind of way to go about it. I'm not perfect. I have my moments, but overall I think it's a good mindset to have just in the background, of things. Like when you're doing things, just keep that in mind. It's like, oh, is this building the ladder? Yes, no, maybe. And at the end of the day, it's not about like always doing one thing or never doing anything. It's about like making sure that you're level. And I think you're lucky in terms of finding the good friends. You're lucky that you have a inquisitive mind. You don't take shit from everyone. You kind of run it through your own filter. So I think it ended up well for you,
I guess.
I'm really curious about how. Are you gonna say something?
No.
Okay. You mentioned you hang out with people older than you. This is exactly my experience growing up in high school. I would always hang out with the last grade when I'm in the first grade, and university, and always older friends. So tell me a little bit about that experience. First of all, do you have any friends your age?
I do.
Yeah?
My college, unit friends. Mostly they are like the same age, and also like I still have a contact with my high school friend.
Sure.
Still, so yeah, those are like the people my age. But in terms of like going out, most of them are like, they're not really going out because I was a nerd kid before.
Sure.
Start doing drugs like when I was like 19, so everything's new. So yeah. So they don't really interesting about this size of the world.
Sure.
Like me. But also hanging out with like different age of people always show me like their perspective, and I can understand like I forgot the word.
Different perspective makes you understand worldview.
Yeah, like how they view the world, and like different age, different view, also
Absolutely.
different influence.
Yeah.
And like some people like my age, they don't really know how to take care of themselves. Like when I was 19, like when I was like freshman, we were doing like hanging out and like go out for like drinking for like the group of my friend, and one of them were like drinking too much and like pass out.
Oh no. Classic.
And he's like the heaviest guy in our group.
You're like, no.
And we like, me and my friends, we have to like carry him up in the back of our car. It's not like a pickup, so we have to open like the back, put him in there because he puked.
So someone outside is gonna be like, what's going on?
Yeah. And like at that time he still like stay in a university dorm, like inside the uni, so we have to like carry him to the back and drove past like there was a market on the back of the university, and we have to go past that road, and like there's at least a fucking 100 people.
Oh my God.
Trying to buy some food and like anything after they going out. And yeah, they saw the picture. And I was sitting like in the car.
Oh, okay. Now I see why you hang out with older people.
Yeah.
You're tired of the amateur hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I think my sentiments would be the same. I didn't find any what's the right word, like responsibility, maybe, you know, for themselves, for other people. I think there's less regard to like awareness, and it's just, you know, like in that moment you exist and nothing else does, which is quite wrong. Like you're coexisting with everything, and you kind of need to keep into consideration. That doesn't mean be strict, but also it means sort of like keep things in mind, you know, like, oh, like, is it late? Like, am I taking this, but why am I doing it? Is this the right people? Is this the right place? So a lot of these things I think come with age. Are you only child as well?
Yeah, I am the only child.
Okay, yeah. We generally tend to hang out with older people. No. I mean, I'm not an only child. I have a brother who's 14 years younger than me, so most of my life I was an only child.
Well, my dad had like one kid. He also like in his 30s back in the US, and before they have me with my mom, she miscarried once, so technically I have one enormous sibling.
Yeah, didn't make it.
Yeah,
I have one story like that as well. Well, it wasn't their time yet. I suppose it's our time.
Yeah.
So what kind of a relationship did you have with yourself?
Love-hate situation, kind of thing.
Tell me more.
I've been dealing with like my mental health problem because like I just found out not too long ago that I'm having like ADHD. It's like last year.
Sure.
And yeah, I've been studying about it and digging about myself, and find out that I not just have ADHD. I have like autistic trail, and like 20 more things like came up with that. But
did you self-diagnose this, or did you like go through like a
right now it's just self-diagnosed, but also I visiting the mental hospital like once a month to like get diagnosed. And the drugs they gave me is not that fun.
Oh, I bet not.
So I don't really take it. More like I'm medicating myself with weed.
I think that's underrated because American, because I know this, American food gives you American diseases, so you can go to American hospitals and take American drugs, and you know the cycle continues.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad that you're kind of taking this alternative approach, and I trust you being this sort of inquisitive person. You're doing your research, you're understanding what's going on, and you're serving accordingly. I hope.
Could say that. So I think it's gonna take like at least a year for like they to like see that I really have ADHD. But I've been with this brain for over 20 something years,
Yeah.
so
I know what it is.
I'm quite sure.
Yeah.
And they have like autistic trail like in public. I don't really like look at anybody's face like at all. Like I get really nervous so easily.
Oh, interesting. So is it so it's been like this for a while, but now that you've done research and have understood a few things about yourself plus these different illnesses, you're like putting 2 and 2 together and being like, oh, okay, this needs attention.
It's like when you study about this type of stuff, it's giving you like self-awareness as well, like you know what's going on, not just the outside but also the inside, and like it's make you like more careful about what you're gonna do in life as well. So I think it's pretty good start.
Yeah, I think so too. Better late than never, right?
Yeah.
People deal with this kind of stuff very late in their life, and sometimes it leads to some mistakes that are either you cannot repair or it's really, really hard to. So I'm really glad you're doing the work right now.
And like I think most people, they kind of suppressing it.
Right, avoid.
Yeah, and also avoiding like to talk about it and dealing with it. So I think this is like the right way to do it. Yeah.
How did you find out about it?
I would say like TikTok, because it just came up to me, and it was like at first I don't really understand what ADHD is, but just listening to them, I was like, they're talking about me. Yeah, it's like the symptom and everything.
I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I sense that a lot of people today have some level of autism because our brains are not supposed to be processing this much information. What do you say?
I would say it's more like 50-50 because our brain can only work for like I think 10 something or 10%, and like ADHD people are like their brain like it's working harder, but like the physical brain itself, it's still like the brain that working 10%. So what were you asking me?
Do you think a lot of people
ADHD?
No worries, I got you. Do you think a lot of people have autism?
I would say it's more like some of the symptom, but the autism is,
I mean, in varying degrees. That's how I mentioned it in the first place. So like not everyone's full-blown autistic, but if they're exposed to a lot of screens and stuff from an early part of their life, they have a higher chance of developing it, I guess.
I would say that, but if you are like neurotypical, it's more like normal people, the chance is like lower than the neurodivergent, because neurodivergent people, like they have quite a messy brain, and
split personalities and
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Could say that.
I see. So as a person who's kind of self-dealing with it, what's the best way to deal with ADHD, which is probably one of the most common mental illnesses out there?
I think ADHD people, they always like have a creativity with their problem, like they always fixing them in a weird way, but it's also working.
Yeah.
But I think
Alternative.
like most people find their own way to deal with it. It's just like if you're not dealing with it, it's make your life like harder. That's all. But if you know yourself and you have like self-awareness and dealing with it, it's not really that hard. But also you have to have like a really good support as well.
Are there any easy sort of things people can do, like methods?
A method?
I mean, everyone's going to be different, obviously, but
Yeah.
have you found some sort of common solution for this kind of issue? Like, find a creative outlet must be one. Either music or art or...
In terms of myself, like I use music to like express my feeling, because neurodivergent people, we don't really know how to communicating with like neurotypical or like even the ourselves, like the other neurodivergent as well. So like we find what we like and we put on like interest and effort and also emotional in it to express ourselves in a different way. Like some people like sport, they do sport. I like art, like singing, and I do drawing, like tattoo sometimes as well. So I've been doing that, and it's helped me a lot with like emotional liberation for me, and like it's calming myself down, and it's feel like I don't really have to like release my feeling to other people, because sometimes they don't really understand you, but like you use the lyrics to like correct the feeling and like releasing it in like a positive way.
Okay. So when you said relics, using the methods, like using these artistic sort of outlets to express it in a positive light. Yeah. I think that's, regardless if you're sick or not, that's a good way to go about life. How about sports? Do you do any sports?
I do dancing.
Okay.
If it's count.
If you're sweating, yes.
Yeah, raving.
Okay. Yeah.
That's my only sport.
That's a good workout. Get rid of all those calories.
Yeah.
One step at a time. Sweet. So we're rolling to 1 hour 7 minutes, huh? Any ideas that you would put on a big billboard? If you have this enormous, gigantic billboard that everyone can see, what would you write?
What will I write?
Think about that, but answer this first. Do you have any advice for your younger self?
I would want to tell my younger self, like, be brave, and if you want to do something, just do it. Because like I've been afraid and waiting for too long to do things in my life, and sometimes I like start slow, and it's kind of wasting a little bit, but it's never too late. But at least just dig into it for like a little bit, and like start like just a little part, and it will come up and increase. What else? Do drugs.
Well said, Iggy.
Yeah.
So that's the message on the billboard.
I guess. But
Comma,
do it
responsibly.
yeah.
What were we gonna say?
But like, do it in the right way. Don't like overdo it or
Yes.
anything like that. You have to like manage the dose compared to your like weight, your height, and like doing the right dose. You'll be happy. But
Yeah.
if you overdose it, bye.
Good. What a nice way to end this. Thank you so much for your time, Iggy. I
You
really appreciate
You
it.
too.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course. Well, everybody, this is Iggy,
Bye.
and this is Def Shop. See you on the next one.